Welcome, come on in, come on in. I'm so glad you were able to book one of the spots for a Samhain reading. And you prepaid, right? Awesome, so let's just jump right into it. So the spread that I'm going to be using is from the book 365 Tarot Spreads by Sasha Graham. And so she calls this spread the Halloween Year Ahead spread. And she writes, on this day, for many, tonight is the most delicious night of the year. Tarot card readers, witches, spooks, spirits, and all manner of supernatural creatures party today. The veil between living and dead is thinnest. It is the most auspicious night for divination. Chocolate and candy are doled out to offset tricks, and everyone gets a chance to pretend they are someone or something else. Summation of the spread. What do the next 12 months have in store? Samhain, the ancient Gaelic festival, is the new year for witches and pagans, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, the dark half of the year. It is an excellent time to take stock of what the 12 months ahead have in store for you. Now there's some extra information on the side here. It says, it was believed spirits roamed the earth and played tricks on this night. Treats were given to appease mischievous sprites, and hollowed jack-o'-lanterns were illuminated to scare malicious spirits away. This paved the way for modern practices. Tarot is an intermediary device and metaphysical machine used to communicate with other worlds. Whether conversing with a ghost or spirit, or speaking with the personal private psyche and inner voice, the entire deck is a testament to this wonderful holiday and all the supernatural magic filling it. Because normally this area is dedicated to one specific card that Sasha felt was related to the spread or the day, but here she's saying that it's the entire deck, it's not just one card. So casting the cards, there are 16 cards in this spread. The first one is laid in the middle as number 1, and that's you. Then November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and then October. Cast in a circle around the first card. Then there are 3 cards laid next to each other below this circle. Number 14, what should I focus on? 15, what should I reject? And 16, what magic is possible? So that's the spread we're going to be using. And then the deck we're going to be using for this reading is called the Embroidered Graveyard, and it's an oracle deck created by Alicia Van Vukakis. And the guidebook for this deck is a beautiful, large hardback book. And now with these cards, the way that Alicia created them was that she hand embroidered all the imagery and then took highly detailed photographs of every single one to use for the cards. So much effort and work was put into these, and they are absolutely beautiful. So we'll give these a nice shuffle. Abundant intuition and adventure. See if those come up again. Okay, that feels good. So I'm going to lay these out. And then what we'll do is I'll hover my hands over the cards, and whenever you say, that's when I'll stop and I'll pull that card, okay? Alrighty. So the first card we're pulling for is you. So again, just whenever you feel like it, you just say, and that's where I'll stop. So this card is titled Breath Between, number 48. And it has kind of the upper half of a feminine figure. And one half of her is a skeleton. She has dark black brown hair with red and brown leaves in it. And on the other side, she is flesh. She has grey skin, green hair with lots of little flowers in it. Just fix up those cards. So let's have a look in the guidebook for this one, number 48. So, this reads, Hel, the goddess of Niflheim in the Norse pantheon, meets you at the great pause, the last breath, the moment in between life and death. She walks with you in death, but she is with you every step through life too. Hel exists in liminal spaces, where opposites collide, sometimes violently, sometimes with beautiful cohesion. She is death and life, youth and age, soft and sharp. She encourages you to love your polarities. Do not feel the need to label, reduce, or limit yourself to fit in, but instead respect all the gleaming facets of the diamond that is your personality, and allow them to collide in kaleidoscopic colour and beauty, existing just as you find them. Then in this guidebook there are 2 additional sections, one called Spirit Communing and one called Introspection. So I'm going to read these out as well, because sometimes something just really pops out while you're reading these other sections, even if they're not necessarily related to that. So, Hell has always been here for you, whether you have sensed her or not. She greets you when foaming waves smash upon sand, when harsh wind strips leaves from trees, when the bright sun bursts through meek clouds. Let her sit by your side as you embrace all the parts of you with equal love. Let her guide you to absolute self-love and acceptance. And then under introspection, cognitive dissonance is a mental phenomenon and is fascinating. Humans are capable of holding 2 opposing thoughts in their mind at the same time. For example, I wish to wake up early and have a productive day, and just 5 more minutes scrolling on social media in bed is fine. During shadow work, explore the areas where your own opposing thoughts collide and become aware and perhaps even comfortable with them. You don't need to change them or act upon them. Just seeing them for the valuable insights they hold can work wonders. So with this card representing you, I'm really kind of feeling this, like existing in liminal spaces where opposites collide. As in, like, there might be 2 opposing sides to you, 2 opposing thoughts, things, feelings, anything it could be particularly at the moment, but 2 differences. And I feel a lot of the time when these things happen, we don't like it. You know, we want to be wholly one thing or wholly another. And like with the introspection example, wanting to wake up early and have a productive day, but just 5 more minutes scrolling on my phone is fine. These 2 opposites that happen. And it can be very frustrating. But the advice in here, to love your polarities, embrace all the parts of you with equal love, and just becoming aware of those kind of thoughts and polarities differences, like the cognitive dissonance, yeah. And that even if at first you can't embrace these things, you can't love these things, just like it says in the introspection, just becoming aware with these things, thinking on them, getting to the level of becoming comfortable with them, to then learning to love and embrace these different things. And that you don't need to change them or act upon them. So the next card is November. Let's spread these out a little more. November. So this card is called Beauty, and it's number 40. And to me it basically is like a skeletonized Medusa, like head and face with the snakes. So there's a skeleton head with 8 skeleton snakes coming from the head where the hair would be, and covering the hair area and the scalp is these beautiful flowers. They could even be roses, yellow and red, and some little white flowers too. So now that one, number 40. So I believe this is a poem. It starts us off with Medusa. I stared in the mirror. Love gone bad showed me a gorgon. I stared at a dragon. Fire spewed from the mouth of a mountain. And here you come with a shield for a heart and a sword for a tongue. And your girls. Wasn't I beautiful? Wasn't I fragrant and young? Look at me now. By Carol Ann Duffy. Then, under Spirit Communing, it says, are you getting a little too preoccupied with the external? Your beauty, possessions, and resources will all come and go. Yes, you are beautiful, but you're also so much more. Please remember that your ancestors and guides will always love you regardless. See yourself through their eyes and discover a deeper love. Then in introspection, historians and poets have been toying with the idea that Medusa wasn't cursed by Athena with a stone gaze and snakes for hair, but actually blessed. And I'm so here for it. After all, she commanded fear and even respect as a gorgon. Beauty has its uses, but also its limits. Where in your life do you limit yourself? So yeah, I like both of these. Thinking in November, maybe thinking more about this being too preoccupied with the external, beauty, possessions, resources, and thinking more internally. It could be just something that's recommended for you to do in November, or something that is maybe going to kind of force itself upon you. And also under introspection, thinking about this, where in your life do you limit yourself? Is there something you're holding yourself back from, that you think you can't do, that you think you're not good enough for? And again, I think that could be a suggestion to have this introspective look and ask yourself this question. Or it might be something that even comes up, maybe some kind of an opportunity is going to come up, but it questions and challenges that limitation you put on yourself, and you're going to have to face that. Because do you take the opportunity, or do you just let your limitation continue to hold you back? So then next is December. And this card is called Rainbreaker. as in a reins for horses, not rain from the sky. And it's number 30. And on this card, we see a blue and green horse with some orange reins. But at the same time, it's like the horse is made of water. So we're also like in the ocean. And the water makes up the horse makes up the water. It's a really interesting mix. We have some stars in the background and a crescent moon. So number 30. A dazzling caboose emerges from the bow of a wave. Someone has tried in vain to saddle this beautiful creature, but it does not play ball. It savagely fights for its right to be a wild, uncontrollable thing. The water horse is a metaphor for the very ocean it lives in. It cannot be tamed, and it is loved precisely for its wildness. And it also has an asterisk in here saying that this is a Celtic mythological water horse, and says the pronunciation. So the pronunciation is very different from the spelling. So, under the different sections. This horse is fluid, being whatever it needs to be in the moment it requires it. Slipping through hands which aim to control. Life can be this way with you too. It's not all love and light. Sometimes it's blood and teeth. You have the right to defend your free will. If you're feeling caged in, let spirit guide you to your path of freedom. If things need to get messy first, let them. Remember, you are first and foremost human being, not human doing. Then it says to try the Draw in Your Power spell on page 210 to remember and reclaim your sacred wildness. And then in introspection, if you always go with the flow, at some point you'll get stepped on and walked over. Nah. Rainbreaker asks you to get fierce, vulgar even, in your protection of your space. You don't have to be hair-tied into a neat bun, pristinely dressed if you don't want to. You can let rain-soaked hair course down your back, clothes sand-choked and discarded. You can embrace the expanse of blue and laugh in the face of a society which would choose to control you, attempt to predict you, to have you passively spend money and scroll endlessly online. You can reject it. Break free from your reins and be your true self. So I don't think I need to add much interpretation to this. And so remember, we're looking at December here. So there could be something, someone, maybe even yourself, society, that's going to try and control you, hold you back. And you don't need to allow yourself to just fall into it, to just do whatever society, whatever this person, this thing says that you need to be. You can be yourself. I really like that. So the next card will be January. Interesting. So the card is the winter solstice, which happens around December 21st every year. It's not exact, it changes every year, but it's around the 21st of December, so it might be the 20th through to the 23rd. And it is the longest night and the shortest day of the year. And this is card number 33. And in the card there is a Christmas tree that has a beautiful white and pink butterfly at the top where the star, well, for me where I'm from, where the star would go. In other countries they put an angel on top, or a variety of other things. On the Christmas tree there are little spots of light and these little skull and crossbones as the decorations all over. And then there's some presents at the bottom, little wrapping paper on them. But interesting that this comes up for January, not for December. So I'm already getting a little thought about that one, but let's have a look what the guidebook says about it. Number 33, we're getting a lot. We're getting like 48, then 40, then 30, then 33. Very interesting. They're all very close together, starting with the same like first number. So, imagine life for our ancestors, the ones who didn't have electricity or heating, food ready for them at the supermarket at every moment. Imagine how dark a winter could be for them, and the preparation that would have been needed to survive it. Now imagine the sight of an evergreen tree, all lit up and beautiful. Green, such a vivid colour in the middle of winter, with their loved ones sat around it, smiling, and brightly wrapped presents underneath it, and food waiting for them in the pantry. How full of joy and supported they must have felt with these simple pleasures. If things are great for you right now, remember your ancestors are in your corner like ghostly cheerleaders, celebrating your success and feeling so proud of you. If things aren't so great right now, please remember your ancestors are so ready to help you through this and offer you support. You only have to ask them. Oh, and by the way, they want to celebrate big and small wins with you. So consider the Manifest Goals with Ancestors spread on page 214. Winter solstice asks us to make traditions that bring us light during our darkest times. It's not about presents and materialism, but instead thinking of loved ones and what would bring them joy. It's about being together and sharing food, appreciating the roof over our heads, full tummies, and warm homes. And if we find ourselves in hard times, it's about enduring together and appreciating our loved ones. People are incredibly resistant. We can endure the almost unendurable so long as we have hope and others. Winter solstice says look for the light, and if you can't find it, then be the light. So I think this is some good introspection, journaling, or even meditation for in January when this card has come up. And personally, even though in January there is more light than there was at the winter solstice, it still feels so dark and so dim and so cold. And, you know, sometimes it feels like, oh, it's January, it should be warmer, it should be brighter, but it doesn't feel that way quite yet. It's still a reminder of the sun is coming back, the sun is returning. that warmth and light is coming back. But we should do what we can and want to keep like our own spirits up. And it says here, bring us light during our darkest times. So I think as a card for January, it's kind of saying, if things are great for you right now, that's excellent, that's incredible. But if things aren't so great right now, your ancestors, could also be your angels, your guides, whatever it is you believe in is here for you. And even if you don't believe in any of that, there's always the people around you, your family, your friends, your loved ones. And this could also be kind of a hint to maybe preemptively make some kind of a tradition, like a plan that you plan to do in January to help bring that light in dark times. Okay, so let's look at February. A couple tried to spill out there. So this card is the Witch, number 35, again, starting with a 3. So it's a feminine figure with an orangey, brown, pink kind of dress. It's got long sleeves. It's probably a midi to full-length dress. And it has sunflowers and like vines, leaves embroidered on the skirt of the dress. These sleeves have these little lace like cuffs. The collar is also lace, and she has a necklace on that just seems to have a ring or a circle as the pendant. The person has orange hair that is braided or plaited, one on each side. And she has kind of a classic witch looking hat that is the same colour as the dress, and also has kind of a lace trim around it. So 35. The Witch is the first guide to greet us as we traverse through the Embroidered Graveyard. She still has one foot in this realm, with magic in her eyes and fire in her belly. She conjures the world before you. She has walked the earth and spoken to it. She who can use the language of the earth to alchemize and manifest. She who reads the energy between the lines and plans accordingly. Let her guide you. Dance under the moon with her. Manifest with her. Spirit wishes to communicate their desire to manifest with you. With their divine wisdom, Spirit can see what you will come to need, and they wish to help you get it. You can try the spells and rituals in this guidebook, or branch out and explore online. It can be elaborate, or you can simply plant a few seeds with a wish. As the plants grow, so does your wish. You could pull another card and ask Spirit exactly what they would like to manifest with you. The answer could be surprising. Try the Manifest Abundance with a Goddess ritual on page 216, and pick the Witch in the correspondence table, page 204. Introspection. How do we manifest something new or different for ourselves? Well, We start small. What is one small action you can do right now that will help towards getting the things you want? If it's a course you want to study, check out your local college or look for courses online and make a note of them. If it's a health goal, do 5 reps of an exercise which is doable for your abilities. Each day, wake with this attitude. Break the goal down, find a small thing you can do in the moment to take you a step closer. Get the ball rolling, and then keep it going. This is manifestation at its most effective. So again, I don't think I really need to read into this. There's not very much reading between the lines here. I think it's really just directly telling you about manifestation and how to do it as well. We've got an idea of a small ritual you could do, as well as a method down here in introspection. So it could be right now if you are inspired by this, but otherwise I think it's going to be February when the card has come up for that this is going to be especially important, or it might just be that that's when you feel like you want to do this manifestation. It will be in February. Okay, so March is the next one. And this card is Celebrate Uniqueness, number 38. Again, with the 30s. Okay, and on this card we have 4 skeletons dancing or sitting around a fire, like a campfire. And they each have different butterfly or moth wings. The one in the top center has these beautiful blue wings. On the right, we have one with green and brown wings. I think it's a lunar moth. In the bottom center, we have one with beautiful yellow and brown wings. And on the left, one with red and black wings. And each of them also has a flower crown with their associated wing colors. So this reads, drums, chanting, music and laughter swell from all corners of the embroidered graveyard. The joyous melody changes the notion that graveyards are meant to be a place of doom and gloom. A miniature fire crackles in the centre of a daisy ring, and tiny skeletal figures dance around it. The firelight revealing beautiful, iridescent wings that sparkle as they twirl. Each little fairy laughs boldly and is so exquisitely beautiful in their own way. There is something incredible and unique about you. Don't deny it. There truly is. What is it? Explore this and cultivate it. Often we are able to see the amazing ways our friends and loved ones stand apart from the crowd and love them unconditionally for it. But with ourselves, we fail to see it, or we crave fitting in over uniqueness. Lean into these special parts of you. You are the universe experiencing itself in conscious form. This life is too precious to waste it sitting on the sidelines and feeling self-conscious. When was the last time you gave yourself a compliment? Do it now. Look into a mirror, or turn your phone camera to front view if there isn't a mirror present, and speak to your highest self. Tell them you love that part and every part of yourself. Your body, mind, heart, and soul. Make a habit of standing up straight, squaring your shoulders, and complimenting yourself every time you see yourself in a reflection. We are trained to look for flaws that don't exist. So retrain yourself to look for the exquisite. In a world that profits from your insecurities, the act of loving yourself is a radical power move. Let the fate compliment you with this spread on page 248. So again, the deck's really just speaking out. There's not so much translation for me to be doing here. The first area about everyone has something incredible and unique about them. You do. Everybody does, and so do you. And so this is very clearly saying that you should explore and cultivate it. Sometimes we downplay it. We say, oh, I'm not so good at that, or someone else is better at that than me. Like even a loved one or a family member. You'd be like, oh, they're better at this thing than me. But that doesn't make you any less for that. Or even though you might think they're better at it, they're not exactly the same as you, but better at that thing. And there will always be differences between you and this other person or anybody else who can do the thing. Like say if it's art, and you have a friend or a family member who is also good at art, whatever art form that may be, they are never going to be the same as you are. You have your own special touch, your own thought process behind everything, and they are never going to be the same, to be able to replicate the same as you, and the same with you with them. They are also unique in their own way. And they may also be looking at you saying, oh, well, I'm not as good as this other thing as you are. And so, by identifying and embracing that special uniqueness that you have, a special talent, a special way of being or thinking, don't downplay it by thinking someone else is better than you. Own it. Like it says, lean into these special parts of you. And then in the introspection part about complimenting yourself, insecurities, etc., I just 100% agree with this. And honestly, sometimes it's a little bit of a fake it till you make it. Like how it says that to look in a mirror or your phone camera and give yourself a compliment. And every time you see your reflection, to give yourself a compliment. Even if it doesn't feel quite right or it feels like a lie, that's what society has taught you. You are incredible, you are beautiful, you are special and unique. And society has just told us that we have insecurities, we have flaws, so that we can be sold things that will fix these. So a little bit of fake it till you make it. Keep saying it every time you see yourself. Give yourself a compliment or say that you're beautiful, and eventually you will feel that it is true. And understanding that all this marketing, all these products you see, it's basically like a scam to make you feel insecure so that you feel you need this product. And once you start really seeing that, you realize how true it is and how silly it is that we've all fallen for it. So yeah, not too much reading between the lines there. Okay, so April. I feel like it's right. So this card is Transform number 20. Alrighty, we're finally out of the 30s now. Let's see if the next one is in the 20s as well. So we have, I'm going to say, like a red moon, like a blood moon or something in the background. And we have 3 moths with those beautiful yellow and brown wings as one of these fairy skeletons in the previous card. So there's 3 moths, and the one at the bottom is the smallest, then the middle is the medium size, and at the top it's largest. Transformation happens in the dark. A caterpillar breaks itself down into a soup of cells, called imaginal cells, before putting itself back together and emerging as a beautiful moth or butterfly. Pictured on the card is the gorgeous Death's Head hawk moth. The middle of that transformation is a gruesome, sticky mess. But now the moth has wings. It can fly. We are supposed to change. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but we must grow. Our very souls crave it and push us towards this. It's time. Do you feel it? Everything is guiding you to the next level of transformation. The autumn of your life approaches. Let all that no longer serves you fall away with as much weight as a dead leaf. You are outgrowing your old self and making room for your higher self. Shed this skin without fear or judgment. Allow yourself to be messy through this. Welcome the mess as a necessary catalyst for change. Human beings cannot help but progress. Any action you repeat, you will get better at. It is impossible to not get better, faster, more efficient with practice. Remind yourself of this whilst you practice. This card says if you feel like crap and you've been doing the work, this might just be your moment. That breakthrough period of change. Keep going. At the end of every dark night is a sunrise, no matter how long or dark that night feels. At some point, the sun will come up. This card also says if you feel like crap and you haven't been doing the work, this is your invitation to get started now. The best time to plant a tree for that sweet fruit was 10 years ago, but the second best time is to just start right now. So yeah, really kind of predicting a kind of transformation or change, improvement in April. This could also be a bit of a sign, like it says here. This card also says if you feel like crap and you haven't been doing the work, this is your invitation to get started now. If that is potentially true for you, maybe if you do start now, by the time that April comes around, the breakthrough time, the breakthrough period of change, that could be happening then. So May. This card is Legacy, number 9. Okay, we've kind of broken a bit of a cycle. It's not in the 20s. So on this card is a tombstone. There's some grass and beautiful little flowers growing at the base. some kind of ivy growing over it. It says, R.I.P. Here lies an oracle reader who lived by the sun and loved by the moon. And then it has a picture of like a long bone with a red bow tied around it, like kind of like left as an offering in front of the tombstone. Interesting. So number 9. It says, "Oh, honey bunny, one day you won't be here anymore. Please don't waste your life away in a job that provides you no joy, a relationship that is toxic and drains you, or any other life situation that doesn't serve you. It's never too late to make changes. If you're breathing, you're good and you've still got time. Legacy asks you to take stock of your life. Where is it going right now? And where needs improvement? Think of your perfect life and then backtrack to the life you have now. What's it going to take to get you from here to there? Legacy says be brave and be strong through this shadow work. Please remember that being able to contemplate our mortality and live knowing we will die one day is a gift. So use it, cutie." Our ancestors are privy to experiences that we are not. They have crossed, and with that crossing comes non-linear time and infinite wisdom. They would like to see you reach your full potential because they know it's in you, and deep down, you know this too. Work with them now using the guidance from a specific spirit spread on page 230. Select the Ancestors card as your choice for the first question, to see their take on this specific matter. And then in introspection, it says you hold wisdom inside you, deep in your subconscious. Divinatory tools like this deck you hold are tools to unlock this area of your mind. Use the "Who the heck even am I?" spread on page 228 to open this well of information you've been waiting for. Yes, you've had the answer inside you all along. So I'm really feeling this kind of first part about never being too late to make changes. And I think we had something in Transform as well, didn't we? Let me have a look. Yeah. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time is right now. I feel like these two are a little tied together in that kind of regard. Because it's the same kind of feeling, you wish you'd made these changes years ago. But yeah, that may have been the best time for it, but the second best time is now. So, again, really kind of predicting that change thing happening. Again, it could be now, it could be in May. Yes, May, that's the card we're on. And yeah, I think us being able to contemplate our mortality and live knowing that we're going to die one day is a gift. It's really hard to think about sometimes. It can just be really upsetting. But knowing that we don't have forever is what allows us to try and be better. If we had eternity, truly if we had eternity, would we be better? Would we try to better ourselves? Would we try to be as happy as possible? Potentially not, because we would know that we had forever. So yeah, trying to be as happy as you can be right now is also a little bit what this is saying about, the toxic relationships, jobs that bring you no joy. Maybe something is going to happen in in May. Maybe a new job will come up, a new relationship. This could also be friendships or other kinds of relationships. That maybe something like that is going to come up in May. Okay, the next one is June. This card is called Brother. It's number 57. So on this card we can see kind of a bicycle, but it's just the front wheel and the handlebars that we can see. Then there are the legs of a skeleton standing behind the wheel. They have sneakers on, either two different socks or one is just pulled up higher than the other. And there are 5 blue butterflies flying as well. Muddy knees and scuffed shins, tucked into old sneakers and a cheeky grin, show us the ease to love and fun brother archetype. This is the energy of anyone who has a curious mind and voracious energy. They don't sit still for long, exploring the world around them as they laugh with the sheer joy of being alive. Try the Love and Laughter on Happy Days spell on page 220 to manifest many happy, adventure-filled days. So under Spirit Communing it says, a brother spirit has come to meet you, and he brings with him an abundance of excitable energy, because everything in this world fascinates him. They could be living or past, and of any gender. He is so willing to pedal you anywhere you want to go on the back of his push bike. So where will it be today? Let him cheer you up with adventure, laughter, and maybe just a pinch of mischief. If someone, male or female, presents you with this energy and an invitation for an adventure, please consider saying yes. That's brother spirit guiding you to accept more fun into your life. The boundless energy of the brother archetype asks us to be more free and willing to go on an adventure. Plan the essentials and be safe, of course, but never forget to have fun and always be on the lookout for the small things that bring you joy too. It doesn't have to be an expensive trip. It could be the rushing feeling of riding a bike downhill. When was the last time you just let go and gave yourself permission to have fun for the sake of it? Brother archetype says try it today and surprise yourself with something out of the ordinary. So yeah, I'm really kind of thinking in June, there may be someone, male, female, or non-binary, just a person, might come to you. It could be someone you already know, or someone new, inviting you for an adventure, and that you should really consider saying yes. Or even if this weren't to happen, or in the meantime, this brother archetype and brother spirit, it's just asking you to ensure that you have fun, do things just for the joy of it, and what did it say in here? Look out for the small things that bring you joy too. So next is July. And this one is called Cherish Me, number 7. And in this one we have the top half of a skeleton. They are wearing, it looks like the top of a wedding dress, because we can only see their top half. So it has a sweetheart neckline, it's form-fitting, it's white, and it has these beautiful like golden thread or like needlework all over it. There's a beautiful butterfly in the center. There's like little stars all over as well. They're wearing a crown, and from the crown they have a short veil coming down and covering their face all the way down to their collarbones. There we go. Cherish me says linger just a little longer on the lips of your lover. Hug your friends just a tiny bit tighter, and call your parents, guardians, and grandfolk just because. Look up from your phone at your children, nieces, and nephews that are sprouting from buds to blooming flowers in front of your eyes. Take all this in and cherish these moments, because one day you will wish with all your heart and swear to do anything for one more kiss, hug, word, or giggle, or maybe they will. No time is guaranteed, but you've got today. You've got right now. So get out there and cherish everything and everyone you see, whilst you can. You are living, so live. Your ancestors and spirit guides want you to cherish those you share this realm with, your living friends and family. It brings them great pleasure to see their family love and be loved. Know that your guides cherish you and have nothing but love and adoration in their spooky little eyes for you. Your physical body and energy support them. Your love fuels them. Being connected with you in sacred space strengthens them. It's a two-way street, and they love and unconditionally accept all of you. What remains of the people you've lost to the ravishing of time? Is it just their bones hugged by the earth, or their ashes that will eternally swirl with the stars? No, not just these. They still live in your memories. They dance, laugh, sing, and love forever here. Please take those few extra moments to show your loved ones how you feel about them. Never scrimp on that goodbye kiss or I love you. They are so quick, but they make a life whole and full of joy. This one got me so emotional. So while it's quite clear in its meanings, to love the people that you love and let them know it, I'm not really sure if it has any kind of a connection to July, but this is certainly something that can be worked on now, at any point, but especially now. And again, I'm feeling a little of that, the legacy and transform of like, it's never too late. If maybe there's a friend or a family member that you don't keep in contact with as much as you would like, and you wish that you had been talking with them or calling with them earlier, yes, maybe earlier would have been a good time. But again, the second best time is right now. Yeah, really speaks for itself. Okay, so then after this one we have August. This one is called Rest, number 21. So, in the image, it initially kind of looks like a grey hill or mountain with some trees growing on it and around the base. But if you look closely at the stitching, it is a bear. They're laying down, resting their head. And so their back is like the tall point of the mountain. And their body, face and arms make up the lower part. And leading up to the bear/mountain, there are these paw prints. And with some other trees and slight hills in the foreground. And there's also some falling leaves, golden leaves. A little bear makes her way to a cave in a mountain. She hibernates, and as the golden leaves of time drift by her, she grows in her torpor into the most glorious bear-shaped mountain. Trees sprout like fur from her, small and twiggy at first, but inspired by her, they grow into giant pines over generations. We are often rushing so much that we don't stop to notice the little things. The days are long, but the years are short. This card says you don't need to be a productivity machine 24/7. You can manifest as you rest. You can build, repair, and focus your energy whilst you rest. Have a sacred duvet day with the ritual on page 201. We can sometimes become lost in time. Time wasted, time stressed over, and time lost. We spend a lot of our lives asleep, but even that we don't do enough, and somehow we have managed to sleep restlessly on a global scale. Your spirits and ancestors want you to know if things feel hard, learn to rest, not quit. You don't have to get there yesterday. You are right when and where you are supposed to be. What if we relaxed just a pinch, so we actually enjoyed the journey we are on? Rest says, it's happening, it's on its way to you. Shh, don't fret, sweet one. Come sit by old Mama Bear and rest. Don't let toxic productivity get you burnt out. Take your time and give your body what it needs. Trust yourself enough to know you can manifest easily, in tune with the universe. Rest wants you to slow up on the conscious and ego of push, grind, and hustle. Relax and align. Manifest in your sleep by using the mantra, I trust the universe and myself that I can manifest, insert goal here, with ease and grace. So again, this one's speaking really directly here. Learning to rest and when is incredibly important. And also that from personal experience, resting is not laying down and thinking about all the things that you're stressed about and all the things you should be doing. That isn't resting. That's just stressing. So resting, allowing your body and mind to rest is incredibly important. And like it says, we don't need to be this go, go, go productivity machine 24/7. We're humans, not robots. And I think this coming in August, it's still summer, but the summer will be starting to wind down that month. I think that could be a good time for the this to be happening, or when it's going to be important for you to rest. You know, the summer, I feel like everyone's so busy. Everyone's out doing things in the beautiful weather. And you start to become exhausted from doing all of these things. And so resting at this time is going to be important for you. Okay, so next is September. And this one is called Overcome, number 24. So there's some kind of an animal skull with its mouth open. And there's a snake, kind of with its body wound through and around the skull. And it's sitting in front of the skull, almost like it's looking at us. There are a couple, I think they look like peonies. There's 2 pink and 1 red sitting around the skull, and 1 on top. Just move these cards a little bit. Make a bit more room for these cards. Perfect. Number 24. A green snake delicately weaves herself through the skull of a lion. The mighty brave creature has fallen, long ago, and now only bones remain. The snake uses its cunning to hide inside these and survive. Possibly the snake is the reason for the lion's downfall, but that's a story for another day. This card says now is not the time for blind courage. There is no way to muscle yourself out of this one. Coil yourself, dear one. Do as the snake does. Bide your time. Sit with patience and cunning like they are old friends. Let them whisper their stories. Consider your options and play the long game. It can be hard to do nothing. The hardest action to take is the one not taken. But there is a strength in waiting, gaining patience, to practice self-discipline. Overcome presents itself when your spirits and ancestors are cheering you on. They are cheering for the marathon you have in you, not the sprint. What is the thing in your life you need to slowly chip away at? It may look like nothing is happening, but you are getting there in time. Patience, dear one. Look adversity in the face and say, bring it on. Your challenges grow you. Your struggles strengthen you. The mountain you have to climb looks steep from the bottom, but you're not really at the bottom. Look behind you and you'll see you stand upon years of experience and transferable skills that you've practiced and gained. Everything you've been through was to get you to this place now, and supports you like rock underfoot. When you look back to the top, you see it's not really that far at all. Now, take a step, then another, and get out there and make that mountain your pH. Really wasn't expecting that one in there, but very funny. So the first section, as well as the spirit communing, are both really talking about that. Waiting and biding your time. Patience and self-discipline. So yeah, it could just be in September. This is going to be really important. You may even have to be forced to be patient and wait and bide your time. Think of the best strategy. But it could also be this kind of mountain feeling, where it feels like there's just something so large and impossible in front of you. You know, a real challenge. but that all of your experience and all of your skills that you've learned and mastered before this are going to come in handy now. So it could be one, it could be both of these things happening at this time. So the last in the circle is October. So this card is called Truth Seeker, number 16. So we have a skull, but we can't see very much of it because there is a big, I'm going to say moth, sitting on the front of the skull, kind of covering the bridge of the nose and the eyes and extending out past the skull with these beautiful orange wings. Different shades of orange, and then some areas of yellow and blue/black. We also have around the skull these kind of vines. We see an Automeris Io moth providing eyes for our little lace skull. The Io moth has beautiful galaxy eye markings, and to me, they implied the ability to see greater wisdom. We often allow our perception to rest like lace over our eyes, clouding our sight, to dampen our spirits, and it keeps us small. But it's important to remember perception is not reality. It's a shortcut our mind uses to conserve energy. But bad habits can be learned here subconsciously. Sometimes we must break our perception down and reevaluate it. What we tell ourselves matters, but we don't always use objective truth. Often our perspective is what we tell ourselves, and if we're not careful, we brainwash ourselves into a whole new truth. When we feel low, it's easy to look to distraction. We can KonMari our apartments or buy a new outfit, and we're temporarily lifted, and yet the sinking feelings return. Until we look within and address the underlying situation, it will always return. This happened to me. I had a eureka moment when I stopped seeing myself as a victim because this kept me small and scared. Once I started to see myself as a big part of my own story, with full autonomy and power, I would tell myself I could do anything, and then watch it happen. Question everything. What you hear others say, read online, your own thoughts, actions, and find the objective truth in everything. Make sure the only time your perception of life is being altered is by you and your betterment. We can tell ourselves hurtful things, or we can say more self-loving things, and after a while, we'll believe whatever it is. So make sure it's for your growth, honeybee. This is also reminding me of, I believe it was Celebrate Uniqueness down here at March. About that. A little bit of fake it till you make it, that negative self-talk, it keeps making you think negatively. And by being kind to yourself and giving yourself compliments, and as it says here, telling yourself you can do anything and then watching it happen. I like that one as a kind of last one in the circle, the year we've been looking at in the spread. So then we have 3 more. Number 14, what should I focus on? Number 15, what should I reject? And number 16, what magic is possible? So that first one, what should I focus on? So this one is perspective, number 31. Really just feeling tied back to that. The card we just looked at, Truth Seeker, was literally talking about how our perspectives can cloud our judgment and all those other things, make us feel more down when our perspective necessarily isn't our reality. And so on this card, we have like a red kind of toadstool mushroom with the little white spots. There are a few mushrooms I think that look like that, so I'm not sure exactly which one this is. There's also some grass and little flowers growing at the base and kind of springing out from behind and around the mushroom. These little leaves, some like kind of orangey brown ones and a couple green ones in different shades. So we'll have a look at that one. You are invited to partake in the healing boons that come when working with plant magic. Perhaps a tea to calm anxiety, a herbal salve to ease skin irritation, or even edible substances to slip between the levels of consciousness. Safety is top priority here. Eat, drink, and pick nothing until you are sure of its nature and have consulted an expert. If you're seeing this card, it's time for a deeper look into the herbal world. Plants are nature's miracle workers. They heal, relieve pain, provide food, can cure almost anything, and even heal the planet with ozone-restoring oxygen. When this card appears, it's saying the Fae are close and wish to work with you. It could also be the energy of a light-hearted deity that enjoys the hedonistic partaking in alcohol and other substances like Pan or Dionysus. You don't have to consume these substances if you wish not to. You could try shamanic dancing or create a fairy garden to honour the deity who has come to greet you. It's time to elevate yourself to a different mental vibration. Spirit can help you, of course, but so can the world around you. We see plant magic as this mystical and sometimes scary path, but who in their time hasn't used coffee to energize, chamomile to calm? Even the humble paracetamol is derived from a plant, Plectranthus caninus Roth, the Panadol plant. In many ways, plant magic has been made mundane. There's just some parts of the path we don't use as often. Explore these, research these. Ask yourself, what salve do you need in your life? Make these salves, rituals, and cures a part of your mundane life, just like your daily coffee. So again, this position in the spread was, what should I focus on? So I think this is really quite clearly encouraging you to have a look into plant magic and plant healing. Could also be this Fae coming closer, or deities like Pan or Dionysus. So you could also look into that. But I think learning to appreciate plants that are around us, medicines that are derived from plants, can really give us a new perspective, name of the card, to the world and to life, and how we just think and see things around us. So the next position is, what should I reject? So this card is called Little Ones, and it has a series of shelves, each with a different kind of cage or like animal housing, like terrariums, fish bowls, etc. And with different skeleton animals inside of them. So it looks like we have a rabbit, some kind of a small bird, a snake, maybe a rat or mouse, and a fish. And this card is number 50. The small pets greet you as the first card within the dearly departed section, because for most of us, losing a small floof is our first real experience of death. Their small bodies and short lifespans do not reflect the large hole they leave in our hearts when they pass. This can be so saddening for us, especially if we are young, but in time, we can look back on the memories of our small pet with love and fondness, and thank them for all the joy, laughter, and comfort that they brought us. Whether fluffy, scaly, or feathered, please know that your little pet is with you now. Whether their passing was recent or in your childhood, they want you to know they valued every moment you shared together and still sit with you often. They were just one part of your life, but you were all of theirs, and they are so grateful for the unconditional love you showed them. Chat with them using the guidance from a specific spirit spread on page 230, using this card in the number 1 position. Let yourself fondly remember your little pet, or perhaps you never had one, but had the dream of one day adopting one. How would you hold them? How would they snuggle into you? What noises did they make? And did they have a special greeting or funny thing they would do? Let these memories and visualizations fill your heart, and any time you feel down, imagine them snuggling into your neck or the crook of your arm, and let the comforting feeling fill you. So this is a bit of a harder one to read, but I think with that, what should I reject meaning with this card, I think it's talking about that kind of societal expectation sometimes that when someone or something like a pet passes, you don't think about them, and or you should be only sad. There is a sadness you should only feel. And this is encouraging you to let go of that and think of the happy moments and the happy times you had together. Or if you never had a pet, you would think of the things that they would have done and what you could have done. And just like it says here, this can be so saddening for us, especially if we are young. But in time, we can look back on the memories with love and fondness, and thank them for all the joy, laughter, and comfort that they brought us. And I think this could be applied to other situations. Sometimes in life, people hurt you. Sometimes people wrong you. And after the fight or whatever it is that's happened and they leave your life and you no longer have to speak to them or see them, sometimes we hold on to that anger and that sadness or bitterness, but we no longer have an outlet for that. That person who did hurt you, who did wrong you, isn't the one being affected by these emotions and these feelings. It's you. You're the one who's feeling anger. You're the one who's feeling sadness. And so I think this kind of letting go can also be applied to that situation. What should you reject? That sadness and anger you have for someone who hurt you. Because it's only making you sad and angry now. Okay. And the last card is what magic is possible. Let's fix up these cards just a little bit. What magic is possible? So this card is called Faithful, number 52. And it shows us like a ghost skeleton dog wearing a red collar. They're up on their hind legs, trying to catch a ball that's being thrown through the air. There's like 3 tennis balls on the floor near the dog, and also within the ghost skeleton dog's chest, like rib cage, is at least 6 tennis balls. So I think that's quite a funny visual. Ah, doggos, what beautiful big hearts these floofs have. They want nothing more than to play, eat, and snuggle, all by your side. There's a reason they are called humankind's best friend. When this card comes up, it's asking you to be loyal to the plan, the goal, the good and deserving people around you, but most importantly, to be loyal to yourself. There is a good and strong beating heart in that ribcage of yours that knows the right thing to do. Check in with it now. Make your decisions from the heart. The spirit of a dog comes through for you today. This could be a pet of yours or someone else's, or a person living or past that was always cheering others on, supporting and happy to be around the people they love. The message from Spirit is to remain loyal to what serves you best. Disregard all that doesn't bring you joy and slowly work to create a life that is more joyful. Try the My Abundant and Beautiful Life spread on page 244 to put your mind firmly back in the seat of joy. Scientists have performed brain scans on dogs and can unequivocally prove that dogs feel love when they look at their owners. That little head tilt isn't just being cute for table scraps. It's a look of affection and acceptance. They truly are the most unconditionally loving friends we have. They don't care how we look or dress. They just want to be with us. So, act with the energy of the dog. Have absolute unconditional love and faith in yourself and see how much you grow. Sometimes you have to be your own best friend and support yourself in alignment with your highest self. Be your own cheerleader. So I think that's a really beautiful wrap up to the spread. So, what magic is possible? It's talking about this. Affection and acceptance. And giving yourself absolute, unconditional love and faith. Kind of tying in a couple of those other cards that we looked at. And again, disregarding all that doesn't bring you joy and slowly work to create a life that is more joyful we had a couple of cards that were talking about that change and being happy, I think in legacy as well as brother. Actually, they were both talking about happiness. Legacy specifically with, you know, we're all going to die one day. You should live the happiest life that you can. And the brother spirit of bringing joy and happiness always and in the little things. So yeah, I think this card is wrapping up quite a few of the things we looked at today. So I hope you resonated with a couple of the things I said today. Some of the cards, something that was said in the guidebook, and that a few things stood out to you. I think it was a really lovely reading, and I hope you really, you know, take something away from this. I hope you had a good time. Alrighty. That's all from me, and I hope you have a lovely day.